else work.
I understand. Well,
Commissioner Heavenbridge, was the meeting live at 4 o'clock? Had someone else launched it? Perhaps a couple of people have tried to log in and then given up. Maybe give
That
them a
could have
couple of
been.
minutes.
that's a good, sure, we'll wait a few minutes. That is okay. Well, it's 4:10.
I just sent Joel and Reese an email just to see if they wanted to try again.
Oh, thank you.
But you can proceed if you want.
Well, we'll wait a few minutes. She just sent the email. I was going to give him a call. Say, hey, where are you? That email's as good.
Chair Heavenridge, I just got off the phone with Reese, and she will be logging in shortly.
It's funny, I was calling her too. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to
Uncle
give,
Lauren recording right now. I'll have to edit it. Well, with Reese, we'll have, I guess we only have 4 members right now, so
I'm sorry about that, you guys.
it's all right.
And I'm gonna have to get up and go turn off some food in a few minutes. So just so
Okay.
you know, I'm gonna leave for a second. Okay,
Okay, so can we consider this a quorum even though it's 50%? Karen is on vacation and Joel has not called in. So,
and I am in the process of giving Joel a phone call directly to his. I
Okay.
know that he doesn't get his emails quite speedy enough, so I will give him a phone call.
there you go. Thank you, Jaylene. Well, I think we should just go ahead and start and see if Joel comes in. And if he doesn't, I guess we don't have a full quorum. With 50%, it's supposed to be more than 50%, obviously. So anyway, so the first item is coming up is, let's see. So why don't we talk about the BiblioBus? How's that?
I don't have a delivery date. Erica, have you heard anything about this? I know it's on its way.
I don't have a specific delivery date, but I know that they are planning a tour already and they have some preliminary dates for when each branch will have a visit.
Great.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm just so excited about it.
it is exciting. We're very excited as well.
I hope I can ride along. Let's see, how about opening update?
Opening in general for the library.
Yes.
Your recording has reached the maximum length. To replay your message,
Oh.
press 1. To delete and re-record your message, press 3. For delivery options, press 4. To
All,
send a fax, press 6. To cancel this message, press star. To send this message now, press pound or hang up.
that was a lot of empty space. Okay. Wait, wait.
3. For
Okay.
delivery options, press 4.
What can we do about
To send a
that?
fax, press
I
6.
don't know.
To cancel this message, press star. To send this message now, press pound or hang up.
That is the recording. Huh?
not mine.
Oh, wait. Okay.
3.
I don't think I have
For
control of
delivery
that.
options, Press
So is that-
4. To send a fax, press 6. To cancel this message, press star. To send this message now, press pound or hang up.
I don't know what that is. Is that the recording?
Your
I
message.
don't believe so.
Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Oh, well, I don't, weird. Okay. So I'm sorry, what were you saying, Ann, about the opening?
Our library locations are open at 100% capacity, and we've standardized our open hours. For the regional libraries, they're open 12 to 7 on Mondays and Tuesdays, and 10 to 5 the rest of the week. And then, of course, 1 to 5 on Sunday at Central. Things are going pretty well. We've allowed patrons to enter with or without masks. And we've had a few incidents, but not very many, and mostly people are just happy to be in the library. We are still requiring that staff wear their masks and practice social distancing. And again, I think it's going really well, and I'm looking forward to when we can expand even further back toward normal. Erica, Ray, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Not at this time. We are looking at some policies for relaxing some of the social distancing guidelines and sanitizing, but given the new announcement from the county administrator's office, we are probably not going to be implementing that very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the masks mandate is become current again, right? So when we're indoors. So.
It's not, it hasn't been required. We're just encouraging it at this time, but if anything changes, we will quickly implement those new changes. I know LA County is requiring it, but they have a higher unvaccinated rate. And they have, I think we're at, 70% now, so.
Great. Yeah, I thought excuse me, I thought I read that Sonoma reinstituted that, but I could be wrong. Okay, great. Thank you. So let's see, anything from the anything other from the staff? We have any big news from anybody?
No, nothing more.
Okay, let's see. For me, for the general report, I think we had pretty much the state and national advocacy and legislative updates are pretty much standing from the last meeting. And I don't think there's been any movement on the state level for the library bill that's going through. So I think, and unless you heard of something new, Karen's not here today, so I didn't hear anything new from last meeting, so that's good. So I don't really have much to say on that. And so as far as the advocacy 5.3, always want to mention the calendar. There's things that are on there now that are relevant to all the commissioners, and I've been going through it and putting what I can put up, but not a lot happening in the month of July. So, so we're getting into August, the dog days of summer. But anybody want to give a report on Roseland?
The new temporary Roseland, we're making progress there. We still don't have a firm opening date yet, but we're moving along with the inspections that need to occur. For the permanent Roseland, we've had several meetings with the at Roseland at Tierra de Rosas, and also some meetings with the city of Santa Rosa personnel to talk about options there. So I'm feeling pretty good about our chances for securing a permanent location very soon.
But you can't talk about it at this point.
Not yet, no.
I understand. No, it makes sense. That's great. Well, I'm looking forward to our temporary Roseland being open and having that little celebration. Great to go to. I saw the pictures of the archives. Thank you. That's looks like a great space. Any other news on that than what you reported?
Well, we're working on getting the design so that we know where to put things when we get them moved over, and staff will begin packing things up. I mentioned that there's a supply chain issue in terms of getting the archival quality packing materials, but our movers have some other materials that we can use for the loose items. And we're going to go ahead and get some of those things packed so that we can get them moved.
Excellent. So we're still looking at a August date?
We're hopeful that we'll get everything out by the end of August. It may slip over into September, depending on how much of a delay there is with getting everything received in packing materials for the shelves, for other things that we need to do to prepare the space. But we're working as fast as we can.
Okay, excellent. Well, the community, I'm sure, is happy with that. So that's a great thing. And we put Measure Y renewal. There was a reason the staff asked us to put that on the agenda. So who would like to talk about that?
Ray, how about if you lead us off on that one?
Thank you, Dr. Hammond and commissioners. As I was saying last week to Jaylene, this is another reason to say thank goodness for Jen, because now that she's here, Jaylene is only doing 2 jobs instead of 3. And Jaylene and I have been able to meet. We're meeting weekly, actually, to put together a sort of a forensic look back on Measure Y. Jaylene's taking the lead on that. We're putting together a timeline of what happened, who was there, what was spent, what was not spent, what was spent by the library to offer educational materials and opportunities to the community, and then what happened when it transitioned over to a campaign committee. We're also talking to the public affairs consultant we used back then. So in other words, we're making progress. And I would suspect in the next couple of months, we're going to pull together, I believe the committee that met to talk about it last time was Chair Doyle, Vice Chair Hauser, Commissioner Heavenridge, and a few staff members. So we'll probably pull that together initial to make sure that we're headed in the right direction, and then convene a larger committee after that. We've got a lot of rich resources in the form of Commissioner Foxen, Commissioner McKenzie, Commissioner Doyle, people who were around when Measure Y passed. So we want to make sure we do everything right in 2024 that was done right in 2016, and do even more things right as we run up to that. I'm not sure if you noticed or not, probably not. Actually, it hasn't come out in the press yet, but tomorrow, the County Board of Supervisors is going to officially acknowledge that they're putting a fire tax on the ballot in 2022. And it's my recommendation and our public affairs consultant recommendation that we plant our flag as well for 2024 and make that public announcement sometime before the end of this calendar year. So we're moving along at an increasing pace, and then probably in a month or so, we're going to start moving very quickly.
It certainly is not too soon, as we've learned in the last 2 campaigns. And I think we're getting to be an old hand in this. This is great. Okay, any questions about Measure Y from Reese?
No, I'm just glad we're starting now and not just waiting around and assuming that things will go right, because I remember for the 216, as soon as the 214 failed, we started working on 216, and it paid off big time.
Yeah.
Because this takes a lot of outreach, a lot of relationship building, a lot of connections in the community. I mean, it takes a lot, and it needs to be done. So
That's good, because a lot of the people that worked on the last one are around. So you're here, thank goodness, Reese.
I'll be here regardless if I'm on the commission or not. I will be here.
Well, I know
Because
you.
I mean, that needs to be done. It needs to be done right.
Right.
So
That's great.
it needs to be a complete job, not a piecemeal job. So
Yeah, and I think it's really smart to start it now, and we already have, so it's good. So
yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So the re-engaging with the community organizations and leaders. Any of the staff want to talk about that? 5.3E.
Well, I have a question. When does the mayors and council
Sure.
dinner start again?
Ah,
Does anybody know?
They've
I
been,
haven't heard anything about dinners. I did reach out to Cloverdale, which is the host city, and get me and Ray on the mailing list for their upcoming events.
Right.
But I believe they're just doing regular meetings at this point.
Yeah, well, keep the commissioners updated because we found that it was hugely beneficial in engaging the council people, is going to those meetings and going to those dinners, and the chair and the vice chair, and particularly the representative from that area going. It's really important. So do you have any idea when Cloverdale's is coming up?
Next regular meeting is in August, I believe. I'll get that information to you. Although like I said, I don't believe that they're having social engagements and dinners yet.
Yeah, I think it's probably Zoom. And
Commissioner Foxon,
mhm.
Cloverdale is the host city for the entire year,
Oh.
meaning that the city clerk for Cloverdale is the city clerk, so to speak,
Okay.
the gen of mayors and council members for the entire year. That doesn't necessarily mean that the meeting is there.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah,
and they did
I think
hold-
it was
I believe they held a
Sonoma
meeting
here.
in June, and I think Jen's right. If it is every other month like it was, then the next one will be in August.
Okay,
I'm aware that Los Cien, Sonoma County Alliance are all still meeting via Zoom. And I know that people are going when they can, but we'll continue to send messages out to you.
yeah, I go to Luciana almost every time, not every time, but almost every time, so. What's the
Yeah.
County Office of Equity doing in the way of outreach? Does
They're
anybody?
not having meetings per se, the
Okay.
same sort of meetings as the other folks on this list. I think they ended up on this particular list on your agenda because they're a growing force and a growing influence
Mhm.
in how the county does business and county partners. And we want to stay in touch with them. The head of that office, Alegria de la Cruz, joined us for our midweek message a few months ago. And we're reaching out to the person who has the same job for the city of Santa Rosa. She'll be appearing in our midweek message as well to help us stay focused on our commitment to equity and inclusion and to network with those folks.
Yeah, well, I know the Office of Equity was just established, I don't know, 6 months or so ago, and they're just kind of beginning to reach out and build up and stuff, so, okay.
Right. And I would add, just to connect 5.3E to 5.3A, there are local Chamber of Commerce meetings every month. And
Okay,
I believe they're on the calendars. And if you're not already, we are members of all the chambers. So if commissioners, if you're not already on that chamber's mailing list, let Jen or I know and we can add you, or just reach out to the chamber yourself.
okay.
That's a wonderful place to show the flag and to talk about the value of the library.
Mhm. Well, I
That's
know,
a good, really good point.
I
Go ahead,
saw
Reese.
when we changed and when we started really getting into some of these things, I saw a big difference in attitudes towards the library with the council people and with the board, not so much the board, but with the council people. So it's really important that we get involved. So, and commissioners can do it and smile and be important.
Yeah,
Anyway, okay, thank you.
that's good. No, that's good. I just want to mention about Lucien. If I don't know if anybody's going to attend the next one, but it's all in Spanish, so I'd like a translation. But it's a really good one with about educational opportunities, and it has a few people from SRJC that I'm involved with, including Pedro Avila, who's the Vice President of Student Services. And but unfortunately, my Spanish is non-existent.
I don't speak Spanish, so I'm hoping they do have a translator. And
They will have live interpretation if you sign up for it. When you go to the Zoom meeting, look for the little globe icon on the bottom.
okay,
Great.
Click on it and you can choose your language.
good.
Excellent. Thank you, Ray.
I
I
think
was
it's
going to have my wife, who's fluent, stand here and translate everything, but that's a
I think
better
it's
idea.
important that the commissioners are aware of this and
Mhm.
go, because I think they need to
Mhm.
experience how the 30% of the population has to deal with life. Because you go to a meeting and you don't speak the language real well, it's very, very difficult. And
Right.
so I think it's important to go and experience that.
No, I agree.
That's my 2 cents.
No, I agree. It's like Reese. I went to a lot of the lunches, and that was a great place to hobnob
Mhm.
and present library issues.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
lot of people.
And meet people and get them to know you
Yeah.
and realize that you have value, because so often, at least early on when I was on the commission, we were just not valuable to anybody. And
Mhm.
by going to those meetings and talking and networking, whatever you want to do,
Mhm.
I think it made a difference.
And I think in those good old days, that was true, because most of the community thought the library just was about books.
Mhm.
And a tip of the hat to the staff and Ray and Ann and everybody that's really in the last couple of years really got us involved in the community, and we're more than that now. And I think the pandemic actually helped, because everybody had to go online for a lot of the services
Mhm.
and download books and everything else. So we're in a better place than we were 5-10 years ago. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, much better place.
And I did want to
That's a
add
good thing.
that we
Uh-huh.
did get Jen connected with the Monica Avina, who is the program manager at Lucien. So she will be receiving all
Great.
of the event information and be able to share that with the
Excellent.
commissioners.
Good.
That would be great. Good to put on the calendar. That would be great. Get people going and using it. Okay, let's see. So any other points of discussion here that we didn't cover? Any other comments? And 5.4 is we keep that on there in case there was something that came up in the commission meeting that would be directly something that the advocacy committee should be taking up. And I reviewed the minutes. I didn't see anything in particular, except for Measure Y. I think we started to talk about that. So, and that was put on. So, and I think this will be an ongoing agenda item, Measure Y.
I
as
hope
we
so.
move forward. Yeah. Well, it's a big deal, and it's a lot of work, as Ray and said, and as Reese knows. That was a lot of work on both of those measures, M and Y.
I learned a lot about the back roads of the county, that's for sure.
Well, we were going in my civilian capacity. I was going door to door at night. So
Mhm. Mhm.
not as a library commissioner, of course, but
Mhm.
so that was good. Got the word out.
Yeah.
One thing I would like this to say is Joe, our manager at the Petaluma Library, is having a Joe Day here as he retires. And that's on the 22nd, I believe. And oh, I'm sorry, 27th. And I get and everybody should the little notice. Oh, just my earplug fell out of my ear. And so it's going to be an all-day thing. It's not just a certain hour. So you can go in and say hello and goodbye to Joe. He's been a wonderful branch manager. I don't know if everybody could hear that in my ear. My iPhone just fell out of my ear. But anyway, so that's happened. I just wanted to mention that. We will miss him at the Petaluma Library. It's been a good Joe. Sorry. Okay, so any suggested topics for next meeting, or is the agenda looking pretty good as a standing agenda? Anything coming up, staff, that we should put on here?
Ray, you said that you were starting to have meetings around Measure Y. Is there somebody from the advocacy committee that's coming to it? Are you going, Paul?
Right now, the meetings are Jaylene and I putting together the background information that was requested.
Okay,
And then
I got it now.
the next step is probably a meeting with Commissioners Doyle, Hauser, and Heaven Ridge
Okay,
to make sure, because that was their request of a
Okay.
few months ago, last time we met. So we want to meet again with that small group, make sure we understood and fulfilled the task. And then, as we discussed earlier, then we want to sort of start mining our veterans like yourself, and making sure we understand how everything worked last time and why it worked
Right.
well. We won with 72% of the vote, which if you're an optimist, that's a wonderful thing. If you're a pessimist, it means we can't lose more than 5 points.
That's right. It was a squeaker.
That's right.
well,
I definitely
was-
would say Reese needs to be involved at one point, definitely.
that was almost 10%. That was over, I think, 10 or right around 10% above what it was in 2014.
Mhm.
So what we did in those 2 years made a difference, and it was important. So we raised it 10 points, which is
Great.
good.
Yeah. Well, we'll do better this next time, right?
Anyway, thank you. I was just curious. I wanted to make sure that the advocacy
Yeah.
committee was involved. Okay, thank you, Ray.
Okay,
Certainly.
good. Okay, so our next meeting is, let's see, oh, there it is. August 9th. Coming up. August is coming up.
And I apologize for being late. Anyway,
That's.
I apologize as well.
Well, that wasn't your fault. That was finance. Talking too much. Reese, I don't know if you knew, but finance had the meeting just before us. So
it overlapped. It was overlapping.
it overlapping, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was going to set my phone and I was debating whether I should go to finance and just observe or not. And so I
Yeah,
didn't set my phone at all. So I was glad somebody called.
that's okay. That's okay. Well, that's a good, and you know, we got done in our half an hour, so
Okay.
that's good. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
good things are happening.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
On,
Bye.
onward and upward. Bye, everybody.